to say that?
Because we invented that word.
Oh, really? What else did you invent, Feathers?
To be honest,
I'd really like to know what you've invented and what you've trademarked, because I don't know a goddamn thing that you've done.
I mean, to be honest, wait, what did I invent?
Yeah.
Me personally,
Yes.
Andrew Schulz?
Yes.
I think I popularized the 2-button open.
Okay. But what else?
Yo, don't look at my chest like that again, yo. That's me too. Yo, she objectified me. I just got objectified.
I just like you. I just like watching you try to get out this situation. I'm like, okay.
Can I get my squirm on, bro? Can I get my squirm on? Can I flip it? Hey, can I flip it? You know what I mean? I just was objectified. You keep objectifying
I'm
me.
not objectifying you. I'm looking you straight in your eyes.
No, you looked at my tits.
No, I did not.
You did look at my
No, I
tits.
didn't.
We got it all on camera.
No, I did
Yes,
not.
it did, because I saw your eyes.
Roll back the tape.
Roll it
The
back,
proof
Al,
is
because
in
I'm
the
going
video.
eye contact.
The
I don't
proof
even
is
know
video.
what your blouse looks like. I don't even know what color it is, because I've been looking at your eyes.
Really?
Which are a dark brown.
Actually, you should look at them in the sun. They're actually lighter than what they appear.
Ah, you Dominicans love your light eyes.
Now listen,
Really?
Can you acknowledge what she
what
said?
Dominicans that are you talking about that go around saying, "Oh, I love my light eyes"?
Oh, Latin culture, light eyes, very popular.
We'll leave that alone.
Can you
That's a
acknowledge
whole
what
nother
she
discussion.
said though?
What'd she say?
Do you think it was inappropriate to ask about her underwear?
I thought that it was very important for the story.
No, it wasn't. It was completely inappropriate. It's completely inappropriate for you to think that you can use the B word when.
Okay, how about this? Asking about the underwear? Inappropriate.
So apologize. It's
There's
your
nothing
podcast.
wrong with apologizing. You're
your
a man,
podcast.
Schultz. You can apologize. People will respect you. Don't. It's not.
Apologize.
It's not like you made a joke. It wasn't a joke, Schultz.
It was a joke.
It wasn't a joke.
It was a joke.
No,
It was
I'm
100%
saying
a
it
joke.
wasn't in the context of a joke.
Of course, it was a context of a joke. Absolutely. I wasn't seriously wanting to know what color fucking underwear you wear. Also, I'm
But that
35
wasn't
years
the
old.
point.
I don't get turned
That
on by girls'
wasn't-
underwear color.
That wasn't the point.
What was the point?
You
She's
know
offended.
what the point
You
is.
offended her.
What was the point?
You know the point.
No, you explained the point to me. And if
I've already explained the point.
Which is what?
Why do you think you have the audacity to even ask a question like that?
Okay, first
He's an
of all,
audacious person.
That's
Never.
great.
100% audacious person.
But there's something funny about it.
There's a certain, well, I mean, we define what's funny. It's very difficult to find what's funny, right? Like, we've been talking about AIDS today, right? Like, you've been involved in that conversation. There might be people with AIDS that don't find that funny as well, right? So
Right.
everything, it depends on the person that's taking in that information. You didn't find my absurdist joke about asking what color underwear you're wearing as you're walking up to a grieving parent's house, asking him how he felt about his kid being murdered.
Right.
He probably didn't like you asking him that. I was probably way more offensive to him that you would
Right.
ask that than me asking what color underwear you are.
But
I was
clearly you weren't paying
Stop,
clearly-
back.
But
Wait.
hold on.
No, let me finish.
No,
'cause
don't cut her off like
no,
that.
No, I'm still talking.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So what I was trying to do is juxtapose the absolute absurdity of you walking up to a grieving parent and asking them how they feel about their dead kid with an absurd question about your underwear. And the fact that you're more offended and think that I shouldn't be able to ask that question while you were willing to ask about a dead child.
Right?
Okay.
To me, should
Let
put
me-
some
let me
context on
referee
that.
this.
No,
Okay.
you don't have to referee.
Right.
If you roll back the tape,
Right.
I prefaced
That was the joke.
I prefaced it with, I didn't even get to the door. I prefaced it with
Right.
being a younger reporter and mistakes that I had made that I would
you know it's
never
wrong.
mistake now. I also said I never even got to answer or even ask, rather, the question before the gun was cocked and he put it in my
But that was
face.
your intent.
And Peter, the intent was because that's what my bosses needed me to do.
Yeah, but just because your boss needs you to do something doesn't mean you should
Well,
do
hold
it.
on,
Right,
so-
but I was also
let me ask you a
21
question.
in the game, and I literally prefaced the conversation by saying a mistake that I would have made then is not a mistake that
I know.
would
I
do
remember
now.
that. I remember it.
Right.
So for
Hold on, let me
me,
repeat this for a second.
Hold on,
Right.
and
Okay.
then I backed it up with.
Charlie wants
This is good content. Good content. Let me finish.
I backed it up with not only would I never do it again,
Yes.
I don't respect journalists who do it now.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
But Andrew, were
So
you?
then, what your argument is?
It's inappropriate behavior.
But Andrew, were you offended by that story? Did that story bother you until she called you on calling out her underwear?
100% not.
Okay.
For what I was trying to play off of is just the absurdity of asking an uncomfortable question.
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha,
But
gotcha.
I
I
agree.
recognize I'm satirizing this absurdity, right? Like I don't truly want to know what color your underwear is. No offense. You could be wearing great underwear. I just don't care.
Well, just
right?
say sorry.
But I'm not going to apologize for jokes because I'd never do that, and that's what I do for a living.
I don't think it was a joke, though.
It was absolutely
like,
a fucking joke.
Like it wasn't an Andrew Schulz. I'm on stage. I put thought into this.
No, it was. I mean, look, there's different levels of things. There's absurd things that you say. Like you've said many absurd things. We've all said absurd things on this podcast. Once we start having one person go, I felt uncomfortable with that, we have to apologize every single time someone feels uncomfortable.
No, it wasn't that. I mean, I'm taking your argument and using it against you. The absurdity of it, I prefaced that.
Right.
And I said, not only did I not even get to ask that question, nor have I ever any time after that. So if I'm already admitting
acknowledge that. I
to
acknowledge
the
that.
wrong, but you're also saying that because there was the absurdity of the question, that's why you asked about the underwear. If I never even asked the question and prefaced the conversation with that, so then how is your argument even valid?
Wait a minute.
And I love you, Feathers.
How did we get to the
I love
underwear?
you too. I love
didn't
you
know
too.
that's how we got to the underwear.
Well, the way we got to the underwear was I asked first what you were wearing, right? And
which was inappropriate.
Well, no, because I was, and I think that you picked up on what I was saying is you made a distinct point of going, I'm not out here like some reporters might be trying to look sexy. Like in these neighborhoods, that's not helping me at all. I'm just trying to get the story done.
Right.
I was
the way
playing
you
off
said
a stereotype.
it sounded like you're saying blacks.
And the way you said it.
Literally,
everybody
listen right now. And it's a good point Charlamagne made, yo. Charlamagne did make a good point about that one. It's kind of true.
It did sound like he was saying blacks.
He's a wizard, bro. He's a wizard.
He is a wizard.
Listen, so what I think we're both playing is the trope or like archetype of a reporter that overly does her, sexuality in these situations. I'm asking that thinking that maybe this sort of dress, satirically speaking, gives you some sort of leverage in these environments. Some guy going, okay, I'll talk to this girl because she's hot, opposed to whatever. You go very quickly, which I assume is because you understood where I'm going, my train of thought, which is I don't dress in any way. I'm wearing jeans. I'm dressing comfortable.
Oh, that's a good point. You're familiar with Taylor Rooks?
No.
Taylor Rooks is a sports reporter.
Yes.
Who a lot of men think is very attractive. And she says that. She says that people get mad at her in her field because a lot of guys want to interview with her because she is pretty.
Right.
So that's just something that she is constantly fighting against.
Yeah. No, and it's definitely been something that I fought against. But I would say the only reason why the joke wasn't handled is prior to the start of the podcast, we talked about my situation personally. And so in the elements of what has happened to me and what we talked about prior and the beginning of the show, I think that you would then know that would be something that would be sensitive just to me as a person. I'm not expecting you to apologize for all of your jokes as a comedian because I appreciate your work.
Right.
I'm saying you knew a little bit more about me and my past and us sharing that I'm saying that's where that trigger.
It is a great point. You and I took that in different ways. You took that as maybe he should know better. I took that as she knows that I'm actually
for sure
a curious and concerned person, and we had that conversation you felt comfortable enough to have with me privately. So I'm thinking she knows my true intention. And if I say something absurd about that, it's no different than me saying something absurd about AIDS ice cream.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's not a trigger for her, though.
Totally. It's a trigger for you,
and
but
the folks at
I
home
always say
don't know what our conversation
totally, we're not
going to
say that. But I always say, for me, it's like, judge me based on my intent, not your interpretation. And you know that I would hope that you know that my intent, even in that, was not to make you feel discomfort in any way. It's just to try to get a chuckle out of a situation. Do I want you to feel uncomfortable at any point during this podcast? No, I hope I haven't made that. Did I feel uncomfortable when you were looking at my breasts? I did.
You know what it sounded?
I did.
That was a great point you just made, but you know what it sounded real good before that?
Blacks?
No. Listen, I'm sorry.
That being said, how about this? I am sorry if something I said made you feel any way that was different than the intent of it.
Hey!
That's fair.
Thank you, Feathers.
That's fair.
Thank you,
That's
Feathers.
fair, right? That's good. You know what I mean? I quit this podcast.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you.